Hey everybody, I'm Matt. I'm the CEO of Guide Social, and I am super excited to be here with you today to talk about how to make your new product go viral on Facebook. So I get it, you've probably spent potentially years designing this new product, right? And now it's finally time to launch it on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, or maybe you're actually selling this thing. All of these things can work really well, and you're probably wondering, is Facebook ads a good place for this, right? The answer is 100%. Totally, right? I mean, especially with a new product. I mean, when you're talking about Facebook, you're talking about an advertising platform where you go to people rather than them coming to you, like on Google Ads, for example, right? Now, if you have a brand new product that hasn't been out there, hasn't been tested, we don't know a whole lot about it, then probably you're going to have to build a ton of awareness around this, right, as you sell it. And that's kind of the difference, right? You can't just run direct call to action ads that just says buy this thing now, right? You have to actually nurture and create a whole funnel around it, right, to actually get people into it to do it. So what we want to talk about here today is how to go viral on Facebook with a new product. And it's actually not as hard to do as you think. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of retargeting, and it takes a full funnel build, but at the same time, conceptually, it makes a whole lot of sense. So really what it boils down to is, do people know about your product? No, people really don't know about this product. So we're building brand awareness, right? We're doing a ton of brand awareness building. Videos, articles, photos, all of these things. Testimonials, all these things, right? And then we're actually trying to build a funnel so that people come through and perform the desired action, right? Whether they're donating to your Kickstarter page, Indiegogo, or you're actually trying to sell this product, whether it's on Shopify or you're trying to do it through a landing page software. That's the basic model, right? So there are a few things that you have to make sure that you have in order to go viral with your product on Facebook that we've seen with our clients that's worked really well to really launch products quickly and in a very scalable way, right? So the first thing, as I refer to my notes down here, the first thing that I want to talk about is video. It's just so important, really, like no matter what your product is, no matter what it is, and you probably already know this, right? But I'm going to just say it anyway. And not just any video, right? It needs to be the perfect video. And I don't want to get too much into the specifics of what makes the perfect Facebook video, but we'll get into it a little bit, right? Because a lot of times people who have a new product get really intense about wanting to really tell the story and make it just beautiful, and it does need to be beautiful. It does. It needs to be extremely eye-catching. It's very important. But I think what I can't stress enough is that you have to make platform-specific stuff. You can't just take your Kickstarter video, put it on Facebook, and just say, okay, good, that's great, we've got our product video. I mean, number one, you need to have a lot of product videos. You need to be breaking it up into a lot of things. And it's not something that'll take a ton of work. You can take one shoot and plan it in the right way so that it's sort of chopped up correctly, right? But I think that what's super important is that you think about how to build it directly for Facebook if you want it to be part of the funnel that's sending people to Indiegogo, to Kickstarter, or to your sales page, okay? So the way to do that is creating a video, usually that's around a minute long, right? And remember, on Instagram, and you should probably make a separate version for Instagram that's going to be under a minute long, right? But the basics of it, right, are around a minute is good. And what's true about Facebook? In the way that people consume it. They're on their phones, and they're usually doing other stuff, right? So you need to build this video without sound. So what does that mean? Now, when I say no sound, I don't mean that there shouldn't be any sound in the video. Obviously, you need to have sound in the video. It should be great, and if you have great sound bites, that's awesome. If you have amazing music that moves people around, I mean, you must have those things. But 80% of people are going to watch this video without sound, so you need to build it with that in mind. as if phones are on silent. So that means that you need to tell the story through a text on screen type format, and definitely use subtitles. Because at the end of the day, the video on Facebook is definitely going to be different than a video that you would use on Kickstarter. Kickstarter, you want to get into the more of the storytelling, you want it to be gorgeous, and on Facebook, it does need to be beautiful. I mean, especially let's say it's a new bike or something like that. It needs to be beautiful. You want to get beautiful product shots, but it also needs to feel raw enough, because things start looking like commercials very fast, and we do not want this to feel like a commercial. If it feels like a commercial, it won't get that organic push that we need. I mean, yes, we're paying for advertising, but the more organically successful the video is, the more successful it will be overall, the more the reach we'll have, especially when we're putting money behind it, right? It'll actually cost less money to get this video to reach more people, because, you know, this video is going to be your big brand awareness play, right? The main product video. And it should really focus on the innovation, right? So, no sound, text on screen, subtitles, 100%. And because it's mobile, you also need to make sure that you focus on a square or vertical format, right? So that's, you know, let's say 1 by 1, just because square is great. You're on your phone. And it just takes up a bigger portion of your screen. So if you put that video out on widescreen, it actually can have 30 to 40% less engagement. There's no reason to deal with 30 to 40% less engagement just because you don't want to take the time to take the video out of a 16 by 9 format. Plan ahead of time. You should have a square or vertical version of this for Instagram and Facebook, 100%, right? And the other thing is really, and this is the, like, in some ways, some of the most important thing about it is that you really, really need to drill down on the pain point that you're solving with this, right? It needs to be a tight story angle. Pain point. Innovation. How is it innovative, right? How is this an innovative product? It's super, super important to really focus in on why people need this and to tell them that, right? And you want to write the video in that way. When I say write, I mean, let's say it's in a text on screen format. You want to make sure that you're really speaking to them in those pain points. And you should be writing in fragments too, like this, 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 this. It's much more like a moving PowerPoint slide than it is like an episode of The Sopranos, right? I mean, it doesn't even need, you don't even need to think about it as a form of storytelling in some ways. What you're really doing here is you're focusing on, 10 to 15 slides, and you're just going bam, 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 bam. The writing is super, super important here because you're talking about the pain points. And I would think like a publisher, think like you work for the Huffington Post or something, and if you were writing a headline about your product, what would that headline be? And you might want to think about leading with that, right? And it's tough to do, and it can help to bring experts in for this type of stuff, but that kind of stuff is super, super important in the video, right? Okay, so that's the video, right? And there's a lot more we could say about video, but I want to make sure that we move on because generally we're talking about how to go viral, right? And going viral is about more than just one video and hoping it flies. You have to have all the pieces of the funnel, right? So the other piece is content saturation. What do I mean by that? Literally have the worst handwriting on planet Earth. Content saturation. Content saturation means basically creating all sorts of blogs, videos, images, GIFs, content like that, and just blasting it out into the world. So you want to be posting this everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, everywhere where you can get reach, right? And also you want to be adding that into your Facebook funnel as you try to build people towards the actual sale. It's complicated to do this in the back end of Ads Manager, but at the same time, to actually create the content is 100% crucial. So start a blog. If you don't have a blog, start a blog right away. Just do it right now. Start a blog. And it can be general interest around your thing. Let's say that it is an innovative new bike. It doesn't mean that every blog should be about this new bike. People don't want to be sold to constantly. It's not about selling to people. It's about creating awareness and building an audience around an existing audience. People that will be interested in your product are interested in the world around your product. So create that world around the product, right? So that you can actually pull people in and build a bigger audience and then nurture them, right? So you want to just saturate it with content. It's all stuff that we can use in the ad funnel, and that it's all stuff that will just generally build awareness organically online, right? So start a blog, write a bunch of blogs, some of them about the product, some of them not about the product, right? Personal stories are always really, really good, right? Videos, like testimonial videos, videos of why you started the company, videos of people using the product, but then videos that aren't even directly related, because again, it's not a sales pitch, right? You just want to be saturating people with value, right? This is all about, I need a bigger whiteboard. This is all about value, you know? Value. Okay, it's all about value. You want to create value for people all the time. You want to be out there creating value. Super, super important. So saturating it with content, blogs, videos, images, GIFs that show your personality. All of these things are so, so, so important. Okay, so you want to saturate it with content, right? And the third thing, really important element, a little harder to do, but totally crucial, right, is social proof and press. Social proof and press, right? So let's talk about social proof. What does that mean? Social proof means it's the peer pressure effect, right? There are lots of other people that have used this product, and they, basically testimonials are the best way to talk about social proof, right? Because it just means someone else has tried this, they like it, so I might like it too. The easiest way to describe social proof really is if you see a video online that has 20 million views, and then the next video in your Facebook feed has 300 views, which one are you more likely to watch, right? If all else is equal. You're more likely to watch the one with 20 million views, right? Because the internet has shown that this is a popular piece of content. So the social proof has gotten you there, right? This is just sort of general psychology, right? And so we might as well use those basic psychology ideas and apply them to our new product, right? So, social proof, testimonials. Who else has tried this? Will they do something for you? Reach out. Anybody that has tried your new product, go to them and say, hey, like, will you, I'll give you a discount, or you could just, maybe it'll just be a favor. They would do a favor for you and just like record a selfie video. It can be so, so powerful, right? Or if they'll write something, give you at the very least, you should try to get a quote. Right? I mean, it's much better to get a video, but at the very least you can get a quote. But it's so easy to get a video these days. Just whip out your phone, vertical, horizontal, whatever the heck you want. You can always edit it later and just say, like, this is what the product means to me. You don't need to rehearse. The rawer the better, right? That stuff is just so, so, so great. So social proof. And press is actually kind of a piece of social proof. And this is a harder thing to do to get in the press, but it's not as hard as you think. I think that a lot of it really comes down to understanding what the press is looking for. I mean, this is not like the old days where, if you wanted to get in a newspaper, which is very finite, right? Or a magazine, and it's extremely curated because there's only so much stuff that fits in this box every day, every week, every month. And if your pitch gets in there, I mean, the rate of actually getting in one of these publications is extremely low. Definitely is much, much, much higher now, because in the world of publishing in the online content space, you got to be publishing constantly. I mean, these places, these BuzzFeeds, Business Insiders, places like that, they publish hundreds of pieces of content per day. Hundreds. And I can say, as someone that's been inside that world, it is hard to find hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content every day. It's really, really hard. So if the right pitch comes along, hey, that's great. That's fantastic. But the problem is, most people have no idea how to pitch this stuff. They just have no clue, right? So what do you want to focus in on when you're doing those kinds of things? You really want to focus in on putting yourself in their shoes. They're hunting for a lot of good content and a lot of good content that will organically travel online. So again, when we do this headline experiment with the perfect social video and we think about how to hit on the pain points, that is very likely what you're going to want to key in on when you're pitching the journalist, right? Specifically in the subject line is super important because most of these emails go unread, right? They just get archived in Gmail and they sent into the ether and nobody sees them ever again, right? The pitch needs to be much more about serving them than serving you. And it can be very hard to do, but I think being humble and getting out there and figuring out why they would do a version of it. I mean, why did you create this product? You must have created it because there was a gap in the market, right? The marketplace was ignoring something and you decided that you were going to tackle it, right? That's what you key in on, right? Because that's how you identify with people. The key to the internet is empathy. Empathy is the key that unlocks all things digital, right? Why am I even bothering to write? Empathy! It's the key because empathy means identification. It's people identifying with things. And the reason that you created this product is probably because you believed that there are people on this planet that are empathetic to the motive that you had for creating the product, right? I mean, you found a hole that needed to be filled, and the reason that hole is there is because there are people out there, whether it's super niche down or a little bit broader, that a gap that needed to be filled. So you need to speak to those people, and that's what needs to come out in your subject lines when you're pitching these things. And it should be very specific. It should be very specific. Don't pitch lists and things like that. If you're pitching an idea about your product, videos are a really good thing to pitch to, and just come out there and be like, this could solve all of this problem. This could solve all of that problem. This one simple solution did this. Or occasionally, if you have a crazy good story as an entrepreneur, like a rags to riches type story or something like that, that can do really well too, because again, it's empathy, because there's like the inspirational, aspirational part of it. It really all ties back to empathy and identification, right? So there are definitely other things that go into it, but when we're talking about Facebook really boils down to empathy, social proof, and sort of catchiness and ease of use, right? Because there's a lot of noise coming in all the time on Facebook and Instagram, but there's tons of money to be made there, right? You just need to figure out how to cut through the noise, And that's really what this is all about, is finding a way to speak to people in a way that they will appreciate and identify with and cut through the noise. Blow them away, right? The first 3 to 5 seconds of your video need to be awesome. They need to be so awesome. Visually, they should be fantastic. If you absolutely cannot show them something visual in the first 3 to 5 seconds, you've got to show them something that really speaks to their pain point, whether it's some sort of headline or something like that, right? But really, this is what it boils down to. And the way that you're going to get there, you're going to build a Facebook ad funnel, right? Or you're going to get somebody, an agency, to build it for you, right? And you're going to concentrate on these things. I need to have the right video. I've got to have the right video, because without the right video, it's not going to get seen on Facebook, right? I need to saturate with content. It's not enough just to have one video or just a Facebook page, just an Instagram. You need to find a way to saturate with content, especially if your product costs more. Let's say you have a $500 product. It's going to be, it stands to reason that it's going to be a lot harder to sell a $500 product online than it is a $20 product online, right? So how are you going to do that? How are you going to make that happen? You need to saturate people with content. Look at this awesome thing. Look at this awesome thing. All of these people love this. Look at this article that was written about it. Look at this thing, right? It just sort of makes sense. And then, of course, social proof and press, super important. Get your testimonials. Get out there. Find a way to get testimonials from people, family, friends, Whatever it takes. They should be real, they should be true, obviously, but find a way to get testimonials, ideally in video, and if at least quotes, right? And then obviously news, pitching to the press. Just think of any and every publication that might consider doing something on what you're interested in. And it's okay if it's general news or niched. Just go out there and just blast them. And when you do blast them with value, and make sure that it's personal. You want to make sure that, and I shouldn't say blast because it's actually misleading. You don't want to actually mass email. That's the worst. Don't mass email. You want to go to individual reporters or editors and say, hey, John, I know you write a lot about this kind of thing, and this solves a lot of your audience's problems, right? You want to get out there and do those things, right? And you can get an agency to do those types of things for you. You know, I mean, a lot of times agencies like mine that focus on new products do a little bit of PR as well, because we sort of want to help with that world, because it helps us push the Facebook ad funnel through, which is our main piece, right? Along with creating the videos. But yeah, that can really help. So hopefully that helps. I know a lot of you are dealing with this right now. You're trying to think, how am I going to build awareness and get things out there when nobody's ever heard of my product? And you know, how am I going to make Facebook ads work? The thing is, Facebook ads are the best place for this. They really are. They're the 100% best place. People on Facebook, even organically, just love new products. You know, they love it when people are doing amazing things and having crazy good ideas. I mean, in a way, we've all been there. We've all felt like we wanted to be that entrepreneur that came up with that $1 million idea. And to see you passionately coming forward with this and saturating their news feeds with it, it's a great place to be, because, you know, on Google, nobody's going to be searching for it. You're going to waste your money with Google ads a lot of the time. But on Instagram and Facebook, we can go to them with the content, which is just so powerful. Okay, so anyway, I hope to talk to everybody soon, and thanks so much for joining me. And if you want to get in touch, you can hit us up, and I can hopefully, you know, if you need any help with this, I can fill you in. I'll make myself available. I can fill you in if you want any advice about these things, specifically, because I know this was kind of broad strokes. I tried to get a little bit specific, but I know it's broad strokes, and you might be like, okay, how do I do that? But I wanted to just do a short training taking you through at least the building blocks. Okay? All right, have a good day.